Hi you guys, I'm looking at the dates between the 15th of July and the 23rd of July and also the 27th of July to the 4th of August. Now I am bringing out this video very quickly because I have strong indications that that time frame may be associated with today to the 23rd of August. Today is the 15th of July, as you can see down here, and it is 5:54 in the evening over here in the UK. Now, a couple of things. The US seeks to return of soldiers remains in renewed talks with North Korea. Now, we know that they said that this has already happened. Donald Trump said that, but that was a lie. And they haven't yet returned any of the soldiers. However, they're having talks today, which is the 15th. Could that be related to the IPEC goat video, the skeleton that we see here? We know there's an association with the Korean Peninsula, the Chinese, and the Americans. So it could be that these talks that they're having may be a connection with this skeleton scene that we see here in the IPEC Goat 2 video. Second, we move on to the threats to the Strait of Hormuz demonstrates Iran's desperation. The Iranian authorities are escalating their confrontational rhetoric. Iran's state-controlled Persian news outlets have been putting great emphasis on the nation's strategic advantage and superiority over the Gulf Passageway, the Strait of Hormuz. Now, if they do block the Strait of Hormuz, I think that could be a possible relation to this scene, the oil slowing down, dripping, coming to a drip. So we're watching out for that. And then there's this Trump-Putin meeting, which is due tomorrow. Now, I was reading this article, and one thing stood out to me, Trump and Putin. And I was thinking back to the reflection between Trump and Pence, Trump, Pence, Trump, Pence, and people have connected that to trumpets. Well, if you do the same with Trump and Putin, you get Trump, Putin, Trumpeting, 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 trumpets, trumpeting. So that made me think of the seven trumpets, the book of Revelation, from chapters 8 to 11. According to Revelation 8, according to Revelation chapter 8, verses 1 to 2, the angels sound and these trumpets after the breaking of the seventh seal. And then I was thinking, Revelation 8, 1 to 2, if you flip the 1 to 2 around, that's 21. And where do we get the connection on 8:21? Possibly in this video here, the 8 in the middle of the apple with the roots and the shadow of the roots connecting together, and the 21 from the two seeds on one side and the one seed on the other side. This is all connected to the volcano. In Revelation, in that particular chapter, what we're talking about here is the first angel sounding, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. Now, if you look at the translation on Wikipedia and you read the first trumpets, the words are interesting because they say the third part of the trees on the planet and all green grass was burnt up. And this is the new way that they're presenting the Bible, changing small words, and it makes a big difference because if you're thinking of a third part of the trees and all green grass being burnt up on the entire planet, then you'd have to think of an event that would cause some fire on every single part of the earth, including all the little islands in the middle of the ocean. And it's just, unless the entire earth was surrounded by, I don't know, meteorites or something, all at the same time on every single part of the earth, then there's no way that could happen. So when you go back to Revelation, the King James Version, the old way of using the words in the Bible, they say a third part of the trees on the earth. And the earth doesn't mean the entire planet. It means the earth on which, the small section of earth. So the UK, for example, would be the earth. The entire United States continent would be the earth. In this case, I think we're looking at Hawaii, because if you continue to read, it then goes on to say, after this hail and fire, which I think could relate to an eruption, obviously what goes up must come down. And when it comes down, if it's a lot of debris from a volcano, then it's termed as hail and fire. Mingled with blood could obviously be an association with the people that have died there, because people are still on this island, even though, I myself, I've been warning for people to get off the island. Hawaii, just get off of it if you have the opportunity to do so. Move further away from it because it doesn't look very good. So yeah, sorry about that. Moving on, the second angel sounds, and it's if a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And we've talked about Kilauea possibly splitting and causing a tsunami, and that would then destroy a third part of the ships, which is convenient because the rimpac exercise is going on right now, which is due to, I think, finish tomorrow. So if this event is going to happen today, then it would be all in connection. A volcanic eruption causing hail and fire mingled with blood, the great mountain burning with fire, which is a volcano cast into the sea, destroying a third part of the ships and a third part of the creatures which live in that part of the sea. Talking about the Pacific Ocean, that's obviously mixing with lava, and you've got the acid rain, you've got the lays, and you've got the green gems, tornadoes that have come out of the volcano, the earthquakes. So there's a lot of things happening with that volcano, which is why I'm telling people to get off of that island. It may be too late, because if this is due to happen today, which it's possible, again, it could be an interpretation for later on in the month, 27th of July, which is more connected with the blood moon and things like that. But there's a lot of things happening today, like the meeting between the United States and North Korea with the dead, and the news about the threat to the Straits of Hormuz, Trump and Putin meeting tomorrow, and a lot of people not wanting that to happen. If something, catastrophic was to happen a day before the meeting, then it's likely that Trump and Putin wouldn't meet. But when you put their names together, you get trumpeting, which again could connect to the 7 trumpets in the Bible, where we're looking at a possible connection to a volcano erupting, and that could be obviously connected to the Kilauea volcano, which may split. Interestingly enough, the most active fissure on the Kilauea volcano is fissure number 8, and the other one that they worry about is fissure number 21. And again, when you look at the iPad Goat video, you've got a possible connection to 8:21, and if you're connecting it to the Bible, then you've got a possible connection to Revelation 8:1-2, and then onwards to the 7 trumpets. So I'm looking at a lot of different connections here. The way that the fissures have gone along the edge of the volcano, they're going along in a straight line. You can see the fault lines here; they're all moving along on a straight line. So if a massive eruption was to take place, I was watching, I think you say his name is Dutchanese, his channel. He was talking about the Kilauea volcano, the crater being blocked up, and puffs of steam and smoke coming out of there, indicating a build up of pressure, which could lead to a massive eruption, which is something that we've been talking about for the last couple of months. And if that happens, then the places of weakness where these fissures and these cracks have formed could possibly cause the scenario we've been talking about, a piece of the island breaking off, causing a tsunami. That may happen today. If it does, then it's connected to the Bible and to the iPad Goat video in terms of, a third part of the ships being destroyed and a tsunami being present. So there's a lot to watch, and I'm watching very closely. This is kind of more of a zoomed in map of the Kilauea volcano. You can see all the fissures and how they kind of just, go along in a straight line. And that would kind of give you the indication that the piece of the island on this side would be what they're talking about in Revelation when they say that it was if a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and a third part of the sea became blood, and the ships were destroyed, and a third part of the creatures were destroyed. So we have to keep a watch on that. This is the thermal image of fissure number 8, and you can see how it's grown since the volcano started erupting on May 3rd. A lot of destruction has been caused by this volcano. When you put it into perspective, the volcano and its destruction in terms of the whole island, it doesn't look like much, but obviously when you're looking at a volcano, it's really just the tip of the iceberg, as they say. You get the smallest part of the top, and what's below is a massive reservoir of volcanic material that can spread out over vast distances. For example, Yellowstone, apparently its plume spreads all the way down to the Mexico border. So, you're not just looking at where the volcano is contained. Underground, the volcano spreads out a lot, so you have to be mindful of that. And then when you get further into Revelation and you get past the part where the ships are destroyed, you get to the third angel sounding, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as if it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the waters. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching this asteroid Vesta, at least what they're calling Vesta, but I can see it pretty clearly at night, and if you look really hard, you can see it a little bit during the day, but it's bright orange. It's quite big. You can clearly see that it's something that wasn't there before. To some people it looks orange. If you look at it on the camera, it looks kind of reddish, looks kind of yellow, like a star. We've talked about it before. It has a 13-mile mountain on it, and it's visible with the naked eye up until tomorrow, or the 17th. So there's a lot of things that are connecting to this Gregorian time frame, which is why I'm making this video. But again, if nothing happens in this time frame, then it must be the lunar time frame. But you guys can see where I'm going with this. A lot of connections I've used. Some people have asked me why don't I use the Bible, and I do use the Bible. I use it all the time. Sometimes I just don't talk about it, but it's always a frame of reference in my mind, particularly Revelation and the seven trumpets. And when I'm just looking at the Trump-Putin meeting and the trumpeting that you can get out of that, possibly connected to the Revelation, of volcano, the ships and the rimpac exercise, everything is lined up for this time frame. So that's why I'm making this video. Hopefully I'm not too late. If nothing happens, I'll be really grateful, but it won't mean that it's never going to happen, because the next time frame goes on to lunar, which is the 27th of July to the 4th of August. Again, a lot of significance in that time frame, particular connections with the blood moon, the eclipse, Obama's birthday, a lot of significance, significant events taking place during that time frame as well. So that's why there's two time frames. But watch out today as well, because there looks like there's a lot of things going on that could possibly be connected to both the Bible and the iPad Goat video, which is kind of looking at the two sides of the coin, if you will. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.